Have you ever wondered why some people get rich while others, no matter how hard they work, always seem to be struggling financially? What if I told you the difference isn't just about income, but about mindset? This is the core idea behind one of the most influential personal finance books ever written, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Today, we're diving deep into this book, breaking down its powerful lessons that have changed millions of lives. And trust me, these aren't your typical financial tips. The story begins with Robert Kiyosaki's own childhood. He grew up with two father figures who had completely opposite views on money. He believed in the traditional path: get a good education, find a secure job, and climb the corporate ladder. His mantra was, "The love of money is the root of all evil." He worked hard his whole life but always struggled with bills and died with little to his name. He was a high school dropout who became a self-made millionaire. His philosophy was completely different. He believed that the lack of money is the root of all evil. Rich Dad taught Robert that the key to wealth wasn't a high salary, but understanding how money works and making it work for you. This contrast sets the stage for the first and perhaps most important lesson of the book. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. What does that even mean? He worked an 8-hour day and got paid for those 8 hours. If he wanted more money, he had to work more hours, get a raise, or find a better paying job. It's the rat race, a cycle of working to pay bills, which then forces you to keep working. Rich Dad, on the other hand, focused on acquiring assets. This brings us to the second crucial lesson. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability. This sounds simple, but Kiyosaki's definition is revolutionary. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Let that sink in. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. Most people consider their primary home to be their biggest asset, but according to Rich Dad's definition, is it? You have a mortgage payment, property taxes, insurance, maintenance costs, and utility bills. Money is constantly flowing out of your pocket. So, for most people, their house is actually their biggest liability, not their biggest asset. Rich Dad's goal was to buy assets that generate income. Things like rental properties that bring in monthly rent checks, stocks that pay dividends, or a business that runs without your constant presence. The income from these assets would then pay for his liabilities and living expenses. Think of it like this. The poor and middle class buy liabilities they think are assets. They get a paycheck, and the first thing they do is pay their mortgage, car loan, and credit card bills. Their money flows out immediately. The rich, however, use their income to first buy assets. Their money flows into income-generating assets first, which then pay for everything else. It's a fundamental shift in the cash flow pattern. This leads us to the third lesson: mind your own business. Kiyosaki isn't telling you to quit your job. What he means is that while you work your job, your profession, you should also be building your own business in your spare time. Your business is your asset column. Your business is what you do with that paycheck to build your wealth. Your business could be building a portfolio of dividend stocks, buying a rental property, or starting a small side hustle that generates passive income. Don't confuse your profession with your business. The goal is to use the income from your profession to build up your asset column until the income from your assets is greater than your expenses. At that point, you are financially free. You no longer need your job to survive. You can choose to keep working because you enjoy it, but you're no longer trapped in the rat race. The fourth lesson is about taxes and the power of corporations. Rich Dad understood that the financial system is set up to benefit business owners and investors, not employees. An employee earns money, gets taxed on that income, and then spends what's left. A business owner, through a corporation, operates differently. The corporation earns money, spends everything it can on business expenses, and then gets taxed on whatever profit is left. This is a massive advantage. Things that an employee would pay for with after-tax dollars, like a car, travel, or meals, can often be legitimate pre-tax business expenses for a corporation. This is why financial literacy is so important. The rich use the tax code legally to their advantage because they understand the rules of the game. They play a different game entirely. Lesson 5 is that the rich invent money. Kiyosaki says that your single greatest asset is your mind. Wealth isn't created by luck. It's created by identifying opportunities that others miss. This requires financial intelligence and creativity. He tells a story about finding a great real estate deal but having no money to buy it. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," which is what his poor dad would say, his rich dad taught him to ask, "How can I afford it?" This simple change in language opens up your mind to finding solutions. In that situation, he found the property, put a small deposit down to hold it. He essentially created money out of thin air by using his financial knowledge to solve a problem and connect the right people. This is what it means to invent money. It's about seeing value where others don't and structuring deals in creative ways. Finally, the sixth lesson is to work to learn, not to earn. Poor dad advised getting a job with good pay and benefits. Rich dad advised young Robert to take jobs for the skills he could learn, not for the salary. He encouraged him to learn about sales, marketing, communication, accounting, and investing. He believed that a broad range of skills is more valuable in the long run than specializing in one narrow field. A salesperson who also understands accounting and marketing is far more likely to succeed in business than someone who only knows one of these things. Don't be afraid to take a lower-paying job if it teaches you a critical skill that will help you build your asset column later. 2. The importance of financial literacy, knowing the difference between an asset and a liability. 3. Mind your own business by building your asset column. 4. The power of corporations and understanding the tax system. 5. The rich invent money through their financial intelligence. 6. Work to learn, don't work for money. The overarching message of the book is a call to action. It's about breaking free from the conventional wisdom that keeps people financially trapped. It's about taking control of your financial education because no one else is going to do it for you. Your wealth is not determined by your paycheck, but by your mindset and your financial habits. Start small. Start by tracking where your money goes. Build your financial vocabulary. Read books, watch videos like this one, and start asking, "How can I afford it?" instead of "I can't." I hope this summary has given you a new perspective on money and wealth. This book is truly a foundation for anyone looking to change their financial future. Let me know in the comments which lesson resonated with you the most.